Hello and welcome back to the Faces of Truth, where we attempt to help America think for itself again. I'm Alexander McCauley. For the next half hour, we'll be discussing America's two parties. For the last century, America has been governed by two major parties, the Republicans and Democrats. Under the Republicans, we had pretty much three sub-parties. Under the Republicans, we had pretty much three sub-parties. Neoconservatives, constitutionalists, and libertarians. Whereas the Democrat Party pretty much kept to itself in one unit. Nowadays we see our nation split down the middle and between people calling themselves Democrats who are actually communists, or as the mound builders would have called them, Kingmen, believing that the government should think for you and make your choices for you, rather than leaving the choice up to you and leaving you to think for yourself, while protecting you from any action perpetrated upon you to take your life, your liberty, or your property justly acquired. The conservative element of the United States, which I call the silenced minority. We are far from silent. It's just we're far too polite. Is that the right word? Yeah, that's the right word. We're far too polite to stand our ground when the people calling themselves Democrats get triggered by some of the things we believe. We will begin, anyway, we believe that humanity ought to be left to choose for themselves, but there should be enough government to keep us from infringing on each other's right to life, liberty, and the acquisition of property in an honest way. The libertarian side is a little too far towards anarchy for my taste. Constitution Party is dead center, where the government only keeps us from stealing from each other, lying to each other, killing each other, and other and enslaving each other through the administration of controlled substances, etc. Or even just forcibly taking each other's liberty. The people that ascribe to Democrat philosophy nowadays, though, the leftists, believe in taking all of that from the common man and enslaving the common people. For ages, we the people were the kings and queens of the world. We've got monarchs, elites, trying to retake a position that they never had to begin with. Back in the days of the mound builders, who were the predecessors of the Algonquian tribes, or also known as the civilized tribes of Indians, we find that they were pretty much divided along these same lines. We had Moroni, commander-in-chief over the armies of the Nephites, leading battles against a king by the name of Amalickiah. Amalickiah was king over a group called the Lamanites, but a group of these people. Moroni was basically president of a group called the Nephites. The Nephites became torn into two parties. One party of Kingman. They were elites that believed themselves nobility, just like our Democrat Party is right now. The Freeman, the faction of the Nephite nation that Moroni was basically leader of, believed that the people should be left to think for themselves, but the government should help them overcome any influence that would infringe on their God-given rights to life, liberty, and the honest acquisition and maintenance of property. There were many years that both of these factions warred one with another, while also warring against the Lamanites. Eventually, the Freemen won out. In our day, we have the same division going on in the United States. The Democrats have aligned themselves with a sort of a monarchical structure of globalists that want to reestablish the old order of nobles, kings, and serfs. The common man will become the serfs, no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter what their affiliation. This is one of the reasons they've aligned themselves with the religious philosophy of Islam, is because it was corrupted to the point that it allowed for this establishment of religion. Congress shall make no law concerning an establishment of religion in the United States. However, there is an element within the Republican Party which aligns itself with these Kingmen. They're called, we like to call them RINOs, or Republicans in name only. They are aligned with the Kingman side. Constitutionalists and Libertarians both value their freedom. The Constitutionalists know that there have to be certain limitations put on freedom in order to remain free. And that is to protect from the violation of rights only, not special rights, God-given human rights. And that all other decisions must be left up to the person to make. We cannot let ourselves slip back in to monarchy. We cannot let our government take control of our lives. We cannot allow the Kingmen to start making all of our decisions for us. We have to start thinking again for ourselves. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the presentation, please like, subscribe, and share. Whether or not you liked the information, please leave a comment. I do read them. I will attempt to communicate either by mentioning you in the next video or, well, I don't actually mention people by name in my videos because I'm not one of those. I don't like to embarrass people. So, I'll mention your comment, the ideas that you express, but don't worry about being embarrassed, because I don't use names. Thank you very much. See you next week. This is Alexander McCauley for Faces of Truth. See you next episode.